Hey, welcome, Purpose Traders, and welcome back to another week of trading. So, I'm praying that you guys had a really great weekend. And I want to go ahead and start this week off updating you guys with CAD Swiss. So, if you follow me here on TradingView, then you know that CAD Swiss is a pair that I have been favoring quite a bit. Last week I thought that price could push down a little bit further than where it did, but it did not, and it created a higher high last week. I was looking to buy again, but unfortunately, I did not get the entry. But we may have an entry this week, so I want you guys to follow me on this one, okay? So let's look to the far left hand side of my weekly time frame. So this last column is my weekly, and as you guys can see, we've had 4 consecutive weeks of bullish movement, or 4 consecutive weeks of the buyers in the market. Okay, so what this tells me, and Pravely is telling you guys the same thing, is that you want to be the buyer and you're not looking to be the seller unless something significant happens, right? And the significant thing is that trend gets violated. Let's go ahead and let's talk about that first. So when it comes to trend and when it comes to time frames, I want you guys to look at the time frames I'm using. This far left hand column is my weekly, the middle is the daily, and then the right hand side is the 4 hour for people who like to enter trades on the 4 hour. And what I'm doing is called top down analysis. And what I'm doing is I'm starting with one of my highest time frames, which is the weekly. I'm breaking down these 4 candlesticks because obviously I cannot see how price is fluctuating on this time frame. Not unless I go back to the left, and I don't need to do that at this moment. But what I can see on my daily time frame are the fluctuations. Okay, so I can see how price has created a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then now where we are now with the new higher high. So if I wanted to, let's say, enter the trade, and understanding that we can't look for sales unless the last higher low at 0.76133 has been pushed past to the downside. So that has not happened. And so what this means is that we need to keep being the buyer above this exchange rate. So let's talk about structure. Market structure is basically where you're telling yourself, this is the best place for me to want to find or enter a trade. And for me, I use my personal system, my personal strategy called TMP. I use estimation zones. It is built off of supply and demand. Okay. And my structure just basically says, Shaquan, we're going to enter above 0.76133, and the structure has to go above, which is this pink zone. It has to go above this exchange rate. So I'm looking to enter anywhere within this zone. Okay. So if you are a trader and you struggle with where you want to enter a trade, well, you just saw me do this. I am first saying, what is the trend? Right? Like, what is price doing? And once I speak it, for me, this is an uptrend. Uptrend means higher. Uptrend means I'm the buyer. So the next thing in my mind to do is find the location or find the place which I want to enter the trade. And that is what we're doing right here. So I pray that you guys are following along with me here. Now, if price can come back to this zone, and what I'm saying is we need a pullback, not a reversal. We need a pullback. Another R word, not reversal, but it's retracement. We need a retracement. Retracement can mean correction. Retracement can mean the pullback. So those are synonyms. So we need the pullback back down to this estimation zone. And as long as price can touch the top of it, give us some type of bullish information, we're just going to trade going back up to the upside as long as price can stay above 0.76133. Now, you guys may hear me keep mentioning this exchange rate. So one of the reasons why I'm mentioning this is because if I am wrong, this exchange rate tells me that if we push past it, Shaquan, trade the opposite direction. But until then, keep being the buyer. You don't want to trade against a higher low in an uptrend. You're asking for trouble. Just because we see bearish candlesticks does not mean to sell. It means to look for the buy in an uptrend. And it will be vice versa in a downtrend. Just because you see green candles when price is pushing down does not mean you should look for price to go in that particular direction up. Just basically means you're looking to sell and then in a downtrend. Okay. So I'm praying that this makes sense. Now, I do have the 4 hour because the 4 hour says, hey, you could get in an earlier entry if you don't want to wait for the daily candlestick to close. So, like, once price reaches this zone, anywhere in here, if you see bullish information, you could trade going back to the upside as long as you believe or have the visual evidence that price could push back up, continue to push back up. Okay, so this is how I'm looking at CAD Swiss because it's all coming together. We've had another bullish week. The daily time frame is still making higher highs, higher lows. We also see the same thing here on the 4 hour time frame, and the 4 hour is optional if you wanted to enter the trade going back up to the upside. Okay, so I pray you guys enjoyed this. And keep in mind this one last thing, you guys. There are people out there who are trying to impersonate me, so they're trying to take my content. And you guys, let me tell you this. I don't work with people who I don't speak to, meaning I get in video chats with people. And so if you've not personally seen my face and heard my voice and we're going back and forth conversing, you're not working with me. I don't work with anyone through text message. I do not have a WhatsApp. I do not have multiple Instagram accounts. I do not have multiple YouTube accounts. I do not speak to anyone through Facebook about trading. So if you're not speaking to me per video before you work with me, chances are you are speaking to a scammer, and don't let anyone else tell you different. Okay. I do not trade for people. I do not offer signals. I do not ask you to open up an account. I do not ask for Bitcoin. I am not in South Africa. I am not South African. So I do not accept any other currency except for the country that I am in. And so these are just things that I need you guys to pay attention to. There are so many scammers out here in the financial market. And this is why I personally teach people through live content. Okay. So I just want to let you guys know that. But I'm praying that this trade here works out. I'm getting ready to get with my clients, and we're going to talk about more charts after this. Just let me know how you guys feel about this video, and what do you think about CAD Swiss? Is this a pair you trade? If it's not, you can still use the same information when you're trading other currency pairs. Okay, so I pray you guys have a really great trading week, and I will speak to you guys in the next video. You guys be blessed.